Alright, this chapter gave us a solid time frame, guys. 2 weeks in One Piece time, and we're gonna be fighting Kaido in all-out war. Hell yeah! Hey guys, ForTheAfro Reviews here, and today I'll be reviewing chapter 920 of One Piece. Sorry for the late review, it happens sometimes, got other stuff going on in my life like exams and school and whatnot. I'll try to be a little bit more on time in the future though. So the cover page for this week is we're finally done with the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which is kind of a relief. I really like the Grand Fleet and the whole idea and fleshing them out in the cover story, but it just, wow, was it dragging on, especially Orlumbus' story. God, that was too long. But yeah, we got the cool pages last week and the week before, like showing all of the Grand Fleet. And this week we have Zorro and Sanji on the cover page, both dreaming of beating the other person up. And Sanji is being congratulated by Nami in his dream, and Zorro is being praised by Chopper, which is just like random. I like it. It's like, Chopper? All right, cool, dude. Like, you want to impress Chopper. He's a nice guy. So most of this chapter focuses on giving a lot of exposition about Oden and the time that, you know, Kinemon and all of them were in the past. So we learned that Oden, like, he came to this land, the region of Curry, you know, in Wano. He was, like, exiled from the capital, and his dad was the shogun of the whole country. So he got exiled from there, kind of like it was an outcast, kind of a rebel. And then he comes to this area with a bunch of rebels and a bunch of like scum, and like it's kind of where everyone ends up. And he reformed the whole area, made them all like hardworking people. He had a food plant going. He made a river apparently with his freaking like bare hands or sword or something. He just cut a river, which is awesome. If you've seen that river, it's really polluted right now, but we've seen that, and that's just kind of cool to know that Oden is the one that made the landscape like that. What's interesting about this whole flashback kind of thing here is that it's not really a flashback. It's just Kinemon explaining some stuff to us, and we don't even hear all of it. The Straw Hats hear more than we do, which is really different for Oda. Usually, especially Luffy. Usually Luffy doesn't know the whole story, but we, as the readers, do. So right now, Luffy knows more than we do, and I can't recall that ever happening in another arc. I mean, correct me in the comments if that did happen. I could just be spacing out, but I don't think that's happened before, so that's kind of interesting. I like that dynamic that Oda's going with for this arc. We get a couple interesting details about the past from Kinemon, like he mentions this guy Ashura that was in the town when Lord Oden arrived, and I think since he was name dropped, he's going to be relevant at some other point, probably 20 years older and not as cool, or maybe cooler, I don't know. But he's probably going to be relevant considering that he was name dropped, and we also got some information about when both Nekomamushi and Inuarashi came to the island. They were really little guys, and like Lord Oden was just a great guy. He's like, who cares? They're sentient beings. Like they're basically people. Like obviously they're not humans, but they're people. You know, like stop treating them like differently. Don't outcast them or shun them. Which is just, I love little details like that. You know, especially back in the past. He just seemed like really ahead of his time, because not only that, but he also wanted to open the borders for all the way back then. Like this is something that he wanted immediately when going into Curry. Like he went to Curry because he was like, wow, this place is too small and I need to like expand it, make it bigger. We're gonna, you know, use all this land and stuff. And now he's thinking the same thing, but with the borders, which is what Momonosuke and Kinemon and Kanjuro and, you know, etc., are all trying to do right now by overthrowing Orochi. We got a really nice 2-page spread of the story being told to the Straw Hats and, you know, and co. And it was really interesting because their expressions were so different at different panels. Like, and of course we're not hearing all the words. Like he's saying like he's saying Whitebeard was fascinated by him and he charmed Roger and all this stuff. But we don't actually know like the entire story, because like their faces aren't matching what's being said right there. So it's kind of like, you know, he's saying more. It's kind of like an overview for us. But I just liked how the page was done. It looked really good, and then at the end they are all bawling. So something really fucked up must have happened, because he kind of just picks up where like, okay, so Kaido was here and everything was fucked up and the castle was burning, and like what led to that? I'm so curious. Obviously we're gonna know at some point throughout the arc, just not currently. So at this burning castle, we see the silhouette of Kaido and what looks like the 3 calamities. One looks a lot like Pika. I've heard a lot of people say. I can see it, but you know, it's obviously not Pika. Just to be clear, I don't think that. He just looks a lot like Pika, and we see Jack looks pretty much the same. And then some other guy. I can't really make a lot of details out here. Just thought I'd mention that we saw silhouettes of probably the 3 calamities. In the burning castle, Lady Toki and her daughter Hiyori were just kind of chilling. Like, you know, they weren't trying to escape the castle or anything, which is kind of weird. And I like that Kinemon, like, to get in there, like, he was just cutting up the flames, which is just a nice little callback to his style that we haven't seen in a while. Like, some readers that aren't as, you know, invested in One Piece, I want to say, might have forgot, like, oh right, Kinemon can just cut fire and explosions. That's super useful. Hope Zorro learns how to do that. That'd be really cool. So when they meet up with Lady Toki, she sends them to the future, 20 years in the future, and it kind of confirms, like, oh my god, we heard she was from the past, but we just thought they were rumors. Like, we're in the future. This is crazy. And the castle's burned down. They see their own graves. It's pretty wild. But also, retainers immediately come up to them because they've been waiting for 20 years. So this is the 20th year. So I'm guessing they just check the castle every day, or like just check everywhere every day because it's the year. Okay, like they're probably expecting this. They've been expecting this for a while. So they're looking around for them. They find them and they're like, oh my god, finally you're here. They show their ankle. I think it was, yeah, their ankle has like the crescent moon on it, and they're saying that like we are loyal to you. We've been waiting, and there's like a bunch of us, and we're ready to fight back against Orochi. So the support in from the samurai and just Wano in general is going to be really strong because there's a lot of people who are unhappy with the current situation. There's kind of not doing anything yet because there's nothing they could do. But now with the Straw Hats and Law and the Minks and etc., other supernovas probably, like we have a pretty good fighting force. So this invasion of Kaito's territory, his like own little personal island or section of the island, is going to be pretty intense with all these people. And I think it's pretty sad, almost forgot to mention, but when they were talking about the past and Oden and all the sad stuff that's happened, it's really fresh for them. It's been 20 years, but like this happened just a few months ago for them, and it's traumatic as hell. So the fact that they're going through all this still is just really commendable to them, you know, that they're still trying to fight so much and whatnot. Like they didn't take any downtime, basically. They just came back and immediately went out. So that's pretty awesome. We get like a retelling of kind of how everyone got separated from in this group. Okiku was made to stay on the island and collect information and intel, you know, so to help them when they finally do strike back. And the rest of the group all went to find the Minks, but they, as we know throughout the story, they got separated, you know. So I think Raizo, it was just a shipwreck, and he just ended up on Zo, which is pretty convenient. Kanjuro was captured in Dressrosa. Momonosuke got on the wrong ship in Dressrosa and like was going the wrong way. It's crazy to think about it. They went from Kaito's island to a place where Kaito's like underling Doflamingo was like in control, and then from there to Punk Hazard, which was under like Doflamingo's underling's control, which is also under Kaito. Just weird to think about it that way. They cannot get away from Kaito. Like he is an emperor, but like, wow, you think they like just by chance would land on an island that's like, I don't know, ruled by Big Mom or freaking Shanks or something? If they landed on an island controlled by Shanks, things would be going way more smoothly, I bet. But they're all probably party countries. And the last thing to mention in this chapter is that Zorro is lost again. Of course he is. Like we knew he was lost, but like we see him being lost, and he's like, "Oh, the damn dog got lost." And you were on the dog, Zorro. You're lost. God, I love the quirk, but it's so ridiculous sometimes. Like how did you do that, Zorro? Anyway, he's at like a wharf and he's like about to get on a boat, and seeing that the Kaito territory was kind of like alluded to be like an island around Wano, like its own like separate thing, or maybe it's in a big lake or something. But since that's kind of alluded to as the place you can get to by boat, and Zoro's about to get on a boat, I feel like he's gonna end up there by accident and kind of ruin the plan. Maybe make it start early, or maybe just be there for 2 weeks just kicking ass, you know, in the shadows, or just like kicking ass and sitting somewhere for a while, and then people come to like, oh my god, Zorro, and then he just kicks their ass too. Maybe fights a Calamity. If he fought a Calamity before the plan started, that'd be pretty interesting, especially Jack, since we already know something about him. And in the main conflict, I can see Jack not being a part of it because he was kind of like the antagonist for beforehand, if that makes sense. During this 2-week build-up, if there's like an antagonist for those chapters, I would expect that to be Jack, since he's already been mentioned and since they already attacked his town and whatnot. But yeah, I just really want to see a fight between Zorro and Jack, to be honest. That's pretty much it for this review. I'm super hyped for Wano to continue. I've been loving the arc so far, and I think it's only going to pick up pace from here on, more action and whatnot, which is going to be just great to like see all the Straw Hats on the same island doing things again, like action-wise. I've just been waiting for that, especially like the shot with all of them gathered together, you know, like the one on Fishman Island. I want to see another one of those, but with them fighting a Yonko. That'd be some real shit. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm close to 100 subscribers, and it'd be really cool to, you know, hit that threshold, feel a little bit more like a real YouTuber. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.